The Gorecast is brought to you by American Horrors, the greatest uncut horror channel in the world. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all horror.
Also brought to you by iBleedIndie.com, your one-stop shop for all your horror rentals and purchases. Don't waste $10 on a soda, relax at home with iBleedIndie.com.
Hello and welcome to another live Gorecast.
Howdy.
In this week we basically delve into something that the Deadly One is rather passionate about, it must be said. Hello and welcome to another live Gorecast.
Howdy.
This week we basically delve into something that the Deadly One is rather passionate about, it must be said. Hello and welcome to another live Gorecast. This week we basically delve into something that
Oh, I know what's going on.
rather
I know what's going on.
passionate about, it must be said.
No, there was an extra page open. Well,
That was
That
an
was
interesting
embarrassing.
start.
that was pretty trippy. That not unlike
Yeah,
something you
actually,
see in
Grindhouse.
Grindhouse, not Grindhouse, just the double feature, which is kind of our main priority because it's the 10-year anniversary of Grindhouse, the awesome Tarantino, Rodriguez, or well, technically if you're playing them in order, Rodriguez, Tarantino, Smash Up, Planet Terror / Death Proof, which was highly underrated in my opinion. I really like Death Proof.
Oh, you meant I thought you meant the double feature itself. I was kind of like, no, most people love it.
It actually, most people loved it, but it didn't do crazy well in the cinemas. Strangely enough, it was on the DVDs where it like.
You know, I can kind of see why that would happen. Consider the type of films that they're venerating.
Yeah.
Right. Will be the cult kind of fringy audiences anyway.
Yeah.
So those kind of people are less likely to go to the cinema and far more likely to be selecting what films they want to watch, and more selective of what it is that they're going to be paying to
They don't
see.
grab his age, basically, is what you're trying to say.
There's that as well, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I can kind of
I actually can't argue with that.
I can kind of see why the DVD sales would be far better than the cinemas. Yeah, but even still, it's
What you're talking, I'm going to do this.
yeah. Basically, they venerated the old Grindhouse tradition of a double or a triple feature in what would be traditionally kind of a rundown theater where they're relying on prices being kind of slashed and to kind of bring people in, and there's a certain feel to it, and there's a certain
There's a very specific theme to it.
feel. I was saying that
Yeah,
theme.
there's both.
Yeah, that too. But at a time where you'd have a lot of kind of independent filmmakers trying to sell their own pictures and moving from one cinema to another on a weekly basis, as opposed to the big mass openings that some of the bigger budget films at the time would get. So as a result, you'd had like trailers and stuff for other films done by similar guys. So you'd have these really kind of dodgy looking trailers and with these really kind of dodgy exploitation movies, and it really appealed to the masses basically because they didn't give a fuck what they did. And they just went out and did it for the sake of basically something that would draw people in, something they haven't seen before, something that they would kind of go, whoa, what the hell did I just watch? And, as a result, it developed this entire subgenre in and of itself, this cult following, I mean, people would go along specifically, they might not necessarily go and see the big main budget films, but they might go specifically and just go and see whatever the latest low budget stuff was. And it's kind of what led to, in later years, the low budget independent cinema that we have ourselves now, which is why I think it was awesome that Rodriguez and Tarantino went along and basically went, you know what, this is what started it all, and I want to bring it back to those days.
Well, the two guys really had a secret love, well, not a secret love.
Tarantino was like vocal about his love for Tarantino.
Tarantino, I think Tarantino is his daughter. Tarantino.
But
or TT as all her friends call her.
I'm gonna get bitch slapped at some point. But he loved going to see the old double features and has collected most of these things like cinema reels. He's famously got like a massive collection of pretty much anything media related. Like he heard him going on about having a massive record collection done up into different sections, and the same I'd imagine with these different films. And I think he was the one that introduced Rodriguez to most of these old grindhouse movies, these old exploitation movies, just via having them on reel and just going to go and sit down, and he'd throw on trailers from other ones that he'd have found as well.
Well,
And really
Tarantino, Rodriguez as well, but Tarantino is like a world-renowned cinephile. Like he's.
I didn't say a word. I didn't say anything.
Google that shit. It's there.
Okay, I didn't say anything.
It's a man who has unhealthy.
I love I get it.
I wouldn't call it literally unhealthy. I'm pretty addicted to movies and cinema myself.
Yeah, we kind of all are here.
Yeah,
it's part of the requisite.
Just where the show came from.
Yeah, pretty much. But
anyway, back to it. Sorry, just interrupted there slightly.
No, it's grand. But yeah, basically the two lads decided we want to show people what it felt like to be back in one of these cinemas, and not just the fact that it was a dingy, crappy cinema and that aspect of it, but the notion of having these trailers that are just as over the top as the feature presentations themselves. I mean, the music that they chose is all very 70s, and the way that they shot everything looks like it's probably like been sitting in someone's back fucking closet for like 2 or 3 decades on actual film.
And it's just been absolutely getting abused by the withers of time.
Yeah, small little burn marks and things like that. That's always awesome.
A lot of dust scratches and things like that.
Yeah, grainy the whole way through, and the trailers as well, and the music.
Something that your Den of Iniquities had a similar look to for a while.
At times, yes.
At times, until you were like, I'm not really a grindhouse guy.
Well, to be fair,
I think you'd fit into the genre of grindhouse quite well, my friend.
Yeah, I suppose Rob Zombie's films are certainly fucking grindhouse.
Yes, they would be in their own aspects. Well, House for a Thousand Corpses, anyway, 100% full blown.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the amount of fucking grindhouse stuff that's in White Zombie and Rob Zombie lyrics is just. I was watching a documentary earlier, and I knew lines, famous lines apparently, in the documentary from Rob Zombie and White Zombie songs. So, pretty obvious with the videos as well.
Yeah, well, it's
a genre that managed.
Well, he's actually, if you did manage to get the double disc or the double DVD box set, there's one of his trailers that was supposed to be a film. That never happened.
I think it's shown with Death Proof, but I kind of for Planet Terror, so I'm more used to seeing Machete.
Yeah, it's Death Proof. Yeah. Machete. So good. So good. I literally watched it as part of my Grindhouse binge there yesterday.
Haven't they done like 3 of them now?
There's
definitely 2.
There's 2 and there's a third one to be coming. They're fantastic. They're fantastic.
And all because Robert Rodriguez met Danny Trejo and went, I want to do a series of films with you.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, Danny Trejo's a wizard in his own rights. He's savage. He's the epitome of, I need like a real angry looking Mexican. Oh yeah, Danny Trejo. Until you see him,
to be honest,
holding a load of puppies.
Yeah.
This is an actual video.
I've seen it,
Yeah. And it turns out that if you hold this big hard man in a room full of puppies, he will melt like butter. Danny Trejo loves puppies. Not in an eating them way. Not like kind of Ozzy and Bats. I'm talking Danny Trejo. He just loves a cuddly.
For a while, right?
Can't be a cuddly little puppy.
For a good long while there, about a decade and a half ago, him being in a film was actually a benchmarker for myself and some of the lads, whether or not we'd watch it. And because, for some strange and unknown reason, none of us knew his name, it was just, the Mexicans in it! Now, it could be we could be watching Desperado, right?
Yeah.
And you could say the Mexican, and we'd all know which particular Mexican actor we are referring to.
He's in literally everything. He was in Breaking Bad.
Well, okay, I never really watched.
Yeah. Very cool scene in Breaking Bad. Do you think I could say the scene?
Off you go. I can't remember
it. It's out long enough now that I think people have seen it, or if they're not going to see it,
anyone that wants to see it.
He's one of the guys that works for the cartel. He's only in like 3 episodes. He works for the cartel and he turns rat, and his nickname was the Tortoise. And the cartel break into his hotel room, kidnap him, shoot a load of FBI agents, cut his head off, attach it to the back of a tortoise, and send it wandering through the desert. And the FBI agents find it because they think it's Danny Trejo about to walk over the hill and just sees this tortoise.
That does actually.
It's amazing.
Familiar,
Breaking Bad, so good. Anyway, back to Grindhouse.
Yeah. As I said, they wanted to recreate this feel, And to be perfectly honest, they did, and in such a way that I think it inspired a lot of people afterwards, particularly in the independent movie line, because they saw how successful it was, I think, and they were able to kind of go, you know what, we've been getting pissed on for having shoestring budgets and doing stuff that no one else will do just because because we can, and all of a sudden this is showing that there is actually big fucking money to be made in this kind of stuff. So why don't we really put a bit of oomph into it? And all of a sudden we had like a massive resurgence in independent B movies that did, in a lot of ways, pay homage.
But the revival of Grindhouse, like, actually has given us half the reason that this whole show and everything exists.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because it gives you, as you've pointed out, sometimes the whole benefit of Grindhouse as well is if you don't have the really cool, sexy equipment and all that stuff, it actually plays to the Grindhouse look even better.
Sweep it on a rug. We don't care about that theory.
Slap a bit of Grindhouse on it, and it's going to look vintage.
Yeah.
Vintage.
I mean, there's films I've seen, and I think the sheer cheesiness of the films is only saved by the fact that they're done in a Grindhouse style. So as a result, it's given that kind of that old, really nostalgic. That's the word. I was losing it there for a minute, but I got it again. It's giving it that nostalgic feel that excuses bad dialogue and lack of story and cars that explode for no fucking reason whatsoever.
Yeah, they just go boom.
I mean, yeah. I'll get to that later on. That was just...
The zombies... This Planet of Terror you're speaking of, obviously, is it? Yeah, the zombies at some stage, before they kind of get to the weaponized zombies, I suppose, for lack of a better word, are just normal pustule-filled zombies, and then they're driving up a road on some cars, a load of zombies with no guns, but for no apparent reason, as they're driving past some cars, just a load of cars explode. But that's goddamn Grindhouse, man.
They hadn't before that. They were in the sheriff's station. They make a joke. They actually make a joke of it, which is actually kind of cool.
Oh, okay. I know where you're on about it. It also happens when they're driving up the road towards the military base.
Yeah. But the point is that
what happens at the sheriff's station? Fill us in.
They're being attacked by a bunch of zombies. Now, there is a bit of gunplay, but none of the guns. Like the cars are behind the deputies.
That's gunplay.
The cars are behind the people that are shooting. Yet for some reason, one of them explodes. Now, when I say they make a joke of it, later on the sheriff is they're all going to leave at this day. They're leaving the is it the sheriff's station or is it? It's not the sheriff's station. It's JT's barbecue place.
Oh, is it when they're all tooled up in the cars?
Yeah, I think. Anyway, the point is,
JT's barbecue place is where they hit the road.
Yeah, so it is the sheriff's.
That I'm on about.
Yeah, so it is the sheriff's station where this happens.
Because that is an epic explosion outside JT's. No reason whatsoever.
The joke is Ray is getting into his pickup, and the sheriff says, "I'll follow in my car." He turns, his car just for no reason explodes. Turns around and, "I'll drive with you."
Yeah,
and it's just after.
There's not a diggity goddamn hope I'm getting in a car with you.
Yeah, pretty much.
You. And then it's can I have a gun yet? Because JT doesn't really need guns either.
No.
Or not? Sorry, Ray doesn't need guns.
No,
JT does wicked barbecue.
Yeah. But as I said, you slap on the Grindhouse feel, and all of a sudden, all these things are not only excusable, but they are expected, and you can play off to them. As I said, you can turn the things exploding for the sake of explosions into a gag. And I've seen stuff. Oh man, what's it called?
If anybody wants to come and work on the Gorecast as a tech, so I can talk without having to do all this, mail us.
Yeah, it would save a lot.
At the Gorecast on Twitter, mail us. I don't know. Be in Limerick, obviously, that'd be amazing. Because
it'd certainly be anything. Cause
anyway, back to this.
I was trying to remember the name of the film. It has Jason Mewes is in it, right?
Okay.
And he's actually tagged as being Jason Mewes. And this thing is done in like a video game for a bit. Like every character gets an intro, name, where they're from, profile, blah, blah.
It's a really crappy haunted apartment.
No.
Block.
No. This is a bunch of monsters.
In an apartment block?
No, they're in a bar in the middle of nowhere. Bunch of monsters. Fuck people.
Oh!
Every one of the films got progressively worse.
Oh my god, yes.
The Feast!
Yes! Oh, that is dodge.
The first one's good.
That is dodge.
But the first one's good because it does exactly what I'm talking about. It slaps on the Grindhouse feel, and not only excuses but works off of things that we would laugh at or would find cheesy. Like as I said, every character, every person who comes into it gets an intro, gets a like little scorecard, like a GI Joe figure or something like that, right? Expectations, would like to live out the rest of the day. Jason Mewes, expectations, has already.
Robert Cunningham says hello, guys.
Rob, how are we getting on, man?
There you go.
But
hello, Ali.
Halvey?
Coppola.
Hello. Expectations. Jason Mewes has already exceeded all of life's expectations.
I'd agree with that. I'd be happy to be Jason Mewes.
But
prefer to be Kevin Smith.
But it was worded in such a way that like he's a complete and utter bum, and he's managed to survive this long by sheer luck, kind of thing. But The Feast, as I said, each one of those films got progressively less excusable. Is the only way I can put it.
More schmecks and less hex.
Oh man, it was. I don't even think I watched the third one. I think it was just it had gone that far.
Oh dear.
But the first one was definitely the first one. If you can find it, the Feast is definitely a Grindhouse modern classic. That that definitely would have probably been encouraged by the success of Grindhouse, the double feature.
It really opened up what was a somewhat forgotten, an awesome genre, in my opinion. Like I love Grindhouse movies so much; they're just off the wall. Have you seen Flash Gordon? It's just basically Flash Gordon, but his rocket ship is shaped like a penis.
If there was ever a sexploitation movie, a sci-fi
this is the epitome
movie
of it. I like no Pam Grier, but like some real heads in it. Okay. But it was just such like it's such a cool.
There's 3 of those things.
Flash Gordon. Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I seen the first one. I was very much out of my mind because a buddy of mine found it.
Were you out eating out of Greenie's medicine cabinet as well?
No, this is years before that. This was like the halcyon. I can't remember things.
I can tell you something I learned. In mouthwash does a whole different thing to humans. Just to let you know.
That's because it's surgical grade alcohol mixed in.
Yeah, either way, I was whacked out. It was great.
That's yeah. But Jesus Christ. When you're using, is that beer or whiskey?
That's beer.
Oh, okay. It smelled like whiskey. That's leftovers from the fucking mouthwash, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's the mouthwash. Yeah.
Oh God, man, that was
Sorry about that.
Yeah. So back to the history, or shall we move on to the reviewing?
Back to the history. The hellhound is going wild.
I don't know who the hell he's after digging up outside there, but they are getting slapped off of everything. I heard a wet slap.
What bothers me is I put so much effort into clean and safe disposal of our friends or single serving friends.
Yeah.
There you go. And he just goes and digs our single serving friends back up. And I don't like that. Because
there's like detritus left everywhere.
It's the disadvantage of having a hellhound because they can dig through concrete. Because now I have to refill that thing with concrete, and now I have a hump load of concrete that I got to get rid of. That's got dead guy on it, or not single serving friend on it.
As you can see, the resurgence in Grindhouse has allowed for certain people to play on certain aspects and make hilarious jokes out of really accidental situations, which I believe occur a lot back in the good old days of making these films.
Well, I mean, a lot of these things were so low budget that quite frequently the double feature you were watching were 2 movies by the one director that were comprised of literally 90% of the same actors that they had in every in the other movie. And sometimes the crazy adverts that used to happen weren't also always for movies. Sometimes they were for companies that might have given them money towards making the movie, so they were kind of like, oh yeah, we'll shoot you an advert. So as well as that, you'd have the actors in this advert during it, but it cost you $5 for 6 hours of solid, dodgy entertainment. I like Sharknado.
Actually, hang on a minute.
I'm gonna
hold up a second. You take away the supposedly dodgy aspect of it, and what you actually have there is probably the closest thing you get without actually being it in a throwback to the old plays.
Stephen Laffin wants to get stoned with us guys. Move back to Ireland, Steve.
There
you go.
Yeah. But from a certain point of view, if you look at the Grindhouse double features and triple features, with all the same people being in it the whole time, you could actually theoretically compare it to an old theatre troupe. You know, a day's worth of a play or something like that.
Yeah.
You know,
it was a cheap but very effective date.
I'd say so, yeah.
Gives you about solid 4 hours.
Yeah, you can get a lot done in 4 hours.
Yeah. Well, look, even more than 4 hours. Like Ilsa, the she-wolf of the SS.
There were 3 of those things
There are
too.
3 of those. They're a good 220.
Really?
The first one was 220. I was at about 145 when I was talking to you on the phone. You were like, "Oh, she never actually turns into a werewolf." I was like, "I mixed it up with the Rob Zombie trailer."
That was hilarious.
Oh my god! I was sitting there waiting for werewolves for an hour and 45 minutes, and it was just a lot of torture. Good torture. Don't get me wrong. Though the girl knows what she's doing, but like, yeah, Ilsa, the she-wolf of the SS. Yeah, I wouldn't cross Ilsa.
No. Followed on by Ilsa and the harem, or Ilsa's harem, or something like that. And then there's another one, Ilsa, she's in Stalingrad or something. Or not Stalingrad, it's not Stalingrad, but it's something else.
Ilsa aus Stalingrad.
She's Russian, and then they're in Canada for a while.
How did she go from German to Russian?
Dude, I didn't watch all of them, okay? I was just looking at a list of them. And although I think Rob Cribben saw all of them, who introduced me to the word Nazploitation, by the way.
Oh, dearie me.
That's your new word today. But what's worse is that's what they were categorized under.
Nazploitation. Nazploitation.
Yeah. They were actually categorized on like PrimeWire or something.
Sounds like
that.
boxing orientated. Nazploitation. Left, right. Nazploitation.
Or said I just got this vision of Ilsa torturing the shit out of Prince Nazir.
oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, I suppose we'll move on to the movies. There's technically 3 trailers for the double feature, because I'm going to show you one trailer now, which is as a double feature.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
The way it should be intended.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back. And we'll cut to the other trailer.
Yeah.
We'll cut to the individual trailer. Yeah. After. Okay.
From the directors of Reservoir Dogs, Desperado, Pulp Fiction, From Dusk Till Dawn, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, Kill Bill, and Sin City, Tarantino and Rodriguez are back. Only this time, they're back to back with a double feature that'll tear you in two. First,
I got bit.
Bit by what?
If I told you, you probably wouldn't believe me.
Robert Rodriguez, Planet Terror.
Made you something. Open that door, will you, baby?
Plus,
Fair lady, your chariot awaits.
Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof.
Till I frighten you. This is my scar. It's your car.
2 no-holds-barred feature-length motion pictures for the price of 1. Planet Terror and Death Proof. Only at the Grindhouse.
There we go.
And we're back.
That's the way, as far as I know, that's the way they were aired in the States. Robert Cunningham probably will.
Yeah, that mad bastard managed to. While we were watching the trailer,
You hit the nail on the head on everything.
Ilsa, the Wicked Warden, and man, Robert Cunningham, you could probably do a podcast on your own with the knowledge you have, you mad bastard.
Yeah. As far as I know, if memory serves me correctly, in various places in the States, it was actually aired as a double feature. I don't think it ended up getting aired like that in Europe.
No, it did.
Did it?
Yeah,
I was one of those people that are scared of the daytime that got it on DVD.
And unfortunately, it came out in one of those week-long binge years. No, what was it? Decade.
It's 10 years. I think it was Thursday or something like that.
I'm somewhat certain that it was shown in the cinemas as double thing.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Wait, I'll click back here. Rob will have the answers.
Just leave it open. But
refresh the page. Does Rob have the answers?
he probably hasn't seen it.
Keep going. He hasn't seen it?
Bit of a delay, remember?
Oh yeah. Oh, I keep forgetting about that. Anyway, so the first movie we'll go through them in order. That's basically. I just wanted to play the double trailer because I think it just looks so awesome.
Yeah.
Back to back, 10 proof, Planet Terror. So the movie we're going to do now is Planet Terror because I think that's the way they're supposed to be aired.
Say a prayer for your old man. No dead bodies for Dad tonight. What happened to your arm?
I got bit.
Bit by what?
If I told you, you probably wouldn't believe me.
They're not living.
hell is that?
They're not dead.
The hell are the bodies?
They're gone.
They're not stopping.
The hell is going on? Jerry.
This infection will spread all over the world. You want the story? I'll spin it for you quick. We got a face full of DC too.
When the laws of science are broken.
Right now, the soldiers are turning. Don't taunt me, Tramp. Once that happens, they'll tear us apart whether they want to or not.
The side effect is terror.
I swore to my men that I'd do everything in my power to keep them alive. I never had a choice.
Now, the last hope for humanity
I'm gonna go get Jerry. Fine, but we're taking my car. I'm riding with you.
rests in the hands of a few.
I have no leg!
Made you something. Stand. Up on. No, the other way. No, the other way. Chop them off. How much ammo we got?
Holy shit.
If anyone comes to the door, I want you to shoot them. What if it's Dad?
I'm gonna eat your brain.
Especially if it's your dad.
Robert Rodriguez, Planet Terror, a Grindhouse feature.
Coming soon as us, we're back. That's how soon we came.
Really? Really?
It didn't.
Think before you speak, motherfucker. Anyway, on to the review of the film, shall we?
I just gotta hang my head in shape for a minute. Planet Terror, which is the Rodriguez movie out of the two of them.
Yeah.
Which, it's so good. Such a good take on the kind of the zombie movie, but it's not. It's got like the alien invasion kind of vibe to it, with all the military stuff and all that kind of thing.
Well, I'd say more secret military kind of vibe, like in Return of the Living Dead 3.
Yeah, military zombies.
Actually, there are military zombies.
These guys are military zombies.
Yeah. But
I'm going to give you a warning now. There's going to be spoilers because, as we said, it's the 10-year anniversary, so you've had an entire decade to watch the movie. Also including Madhouse, which we're going to cover later on, which you've had 32 years to watch the movie.
Yeah.
33 years to watch the movie.
And yeah. Planet Terror itself actually starts off with one of the trailers, which is Machete, wherein you get
Danny Trejo hopping madness. We have to review the trailers in the movie as well because they're actually nearly part of the whole experience.
Yeah, they really are.
Because there's this weird pina colada thing or something for a split second. Yeah. And I think at one stage they do have a "Let's all go to the lobby."
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
And the whole point is that it sets up. It
gives you the cinema vibe.
It sets
the Grindhouse.
It sets the tone for the film so that you know full well. Well, I know that it's going to be this amount of cheese and it's going to fit into this amount of space, and man, the cheese is going to be awesome.
Oh, and the cheese is awesome. Machete is freaking amazing. Like even in that there's an entire series of those movies that came out. Unfortunately, they're not unfortunately because Machete's brilliant, but I really wanted that Ilsa She-Wolf of the SS movie.
That's not what that was.
No, I'm talking about the Rob Zombie one.
Yeah, the werewolf.
The werewolf one.
Werewolf Women of the SS. It's got
really,
a song and everything, dude.
I know. I really want to see it.
So do I.
I really want to see it.
Actually, I do want to see it.
Like Zombie, if somehow you are watching this, please, for the love of God, make Ilsa She-Wolf of the SS.
Zombie, or I'm doing it now. Werewolf Women of the SS.
I'm combining titles.
Wow, that's a fucked up film.
Isn't it?
Oh. Sorry, I just got a vision of a blonde werewolf doing terrible things to somebody with stuff.
There you go.
Anyway, Planet Terror itself opens up with...
There's a scene on a military base.
That's it.
With the guy from Lost.
Is that what he's from?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Right, the kind of the Indian guy or Pakistani guy.
I don't know, I never really watched Lost.
The guy with the red bandana. No, I'm talking in Planet Terror.
Yeah.
The guy who collects the testicles.
Yeah.
If you mess him around, he takes your nuts.
He'd take your balls. And he is basically being backed up by Bruce Willis and an entire team.
No, he's doing financial dealings with Bruce Willis.
Yeah, but for the time being, before he kind of gets those dealings out of the way, he's backed up by them. Then it all goes south.
It's until they find out that he has way more of the basically some sort of nerve agent or something like that.
There's this gas, and the lads, Bruce Willis and his boys, need it to live.
Yeah,
once
because
they're
they got
breathing without
infected
it,
with it over in some place they were doing.
Yeah, Bruce Willis tells the story of it later on in the film. Basically, he was somewhere he shouldn't have been, and he did something.
I'm not going to get into that because that's actually a really good little monologue-y bit.
Yeah,
it's good.
But he did something to someone he shouldn't have done, and blah, and they all got infected with this gas. And now the only way to survive,
indeedly, is to keep constant flow of the gas going. And he's right-hand man, Quentin Tarantino himself. So starts off with a guy who there's obviously some mutant zombie guys that they've been doing tests on that have happened from the gas happening, who have got loose. You don't see these guys getting away. You just see the guys catching his drug dealer / mind my zombie beast demon things warden guy, who isn't very good at the latter because they got away. So obviously they take his nuts. But it's not really snip snip. It's more like clamp clamp rip rip. It starts off with snip snip, or it starts off with slash slash, and then he won't do the slash slash himself. So all of the guys hold him down, and then he does
that
clamp clamp
device
rip rip.
That device is terrifyingly interesting.
Yeah, you see, I could see it being very effective for taking the balls out. I don't see it being very effective for taking the balls out and the man surviving afterwards, because you're basically corning the nutsack out. It's like an apple corer, but for your...
It's the same with the blade.
Your mammy daddy button.
Yeah. Anyway, unfortunately, once Bruce Willis and his lads realise that...
I thought I'd say that on camera.
Unfortunately, once Bruce Willis and his lads realise that their Professor...
Before the guy who's getting his nuts removed gets his nuts removed, he starts screaming, "They have way more gas!" Blah blah blah. Yeah. He starts screaming, "They have way more gas," which is why it goes from slashy slashy to Corey.
Oh,
and then Bruce Willis, he's like, "Oh, we have the deal," and he's like, "No, I'm rearranging the deal. I want all of it."
Yeah.
And then shit goes south. So
the professor that has the stuff decides it's a good idea to put holes in the tanks, causing a distraction, because all of Bruce Willis's guys who are lower on gas need to go over and basically shove their heads in it to
You also start to see a slight minimal effect of what happens if they don't have the gas, because Bruce Willis takes his mask off to talk to them. You can see these pustules start to
blisters and stuff like that
bubble up, and
normal people that are infected by the gas, that skin just sloughs right off.
Oh yeah, they're like a fucking slushy on a skeleton.
Yeah, actually,
slushy on a skeleton.
But
I heard an ooh from the live studio audience. We have a live studio audience today in the Gorecast studio. Gorecast HQ has the landlord in.
The professor or doctor, what the hell is his name? It's bugging me now.
Keep talking and I'll do. I'm the R&D department / tech department.
The gas dealer, because we're not going to for want of a better
We'll
term.
call him a drug dealer because he's dealing a narcotic of sorts.
True enough. Decides to do a legger in the confusion, and unfortunately at that point realizes that all this highly toxic skin, like this lethal stuff, is now in the air. So that was probably not a good thing. We neglected something very important about this film.
I'd imagine so.
We neglected the actual opening.
What do you mean? Oh, the Rose McGowan.
We're in
I'll let you take this away. You're going to put it way better than I will.
the film. To be fair, the title sequence
I'm actually going to light the cigarette up because I need it after the title
the
sequence.
title sequence is quite frankly redheaded Rose McGowan in all her hot ass glory doing a pole dance in
A serious pole dance.
because it's go go, not cry cry. Unfortunately, because tears run down.
Such a good line. It's such a good line.
Tears run down her cheeks.
It's such a good line. He's an asshole for saying it, but it's a
Sonny?
fantastic line.
Why can I remember? Hang on, I can remember the name of the manager of the strip bar, but I can't remember the name of the drug dealing professor. How does
Abby. Abby is the name of the doctor.
Abby?
Played by Naveen Andrews,
Yes, there we go.
who, if I am correct, lost.
Yeah. Okay, go
Boom,
back for a
boom.
second because there's another name I need to know for later on. I was trying to
Okie
do it on the
dokie.
QT. Then you moved stuff. But yes, Rose McGowan doing the go-go dance is the title opening. She decides to quit and as what was it? Takes her bye-bye slips and gives her a finger and fucks off. Yeah, that's it.
Fuck you. Whatever your
Checks
name
out with a finger and takes her bye-bye slip. That was it. Fucks off.
Yeah. That's it.
She is passed by the military crew on their way to the base and gets knocked into a dumpster and gets a shard of something not nice stuck in her leg. Wow.
It's a big old bit of glass.
No, I think it's more metalish.
It's a big old bit of something.
Yeah, pretty much.
It hurt.
So anyway,
Big owie.
cue back to after the aforementioned military, fight scene.
Yeah.
And Rose McGowan has arrived on. Her name is Cherry. Has arrived on at a
JT's
JT's
Shack.
barbecue shack, and arrives on inside. Coincidentally, at the same time that this other blonde bombshell arrives on in a car that is smoking,
Yeah.
and not in the fun way because the
This
radio
blonde
is shot.
bombshell will be known to most people, probably not you, as Fergie from...
Is that Fergie?
Yeah, it's Fergie. Fergie.
Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah, Fergie. I pissed myself on stage. Black Eyed Peas, Fergie.
What?
It's Fergie, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. But there was one of the line. Never mind. Okay,
That happened.
fair enough.
Don't make me pull it up on Google. I'll do it.
I believe you. I believe you.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm clearly brain dead and didn't recognize Fergie in the film.
Yeah.
Go figure. So yeah, she pulls up
Oh,
and
there you go, look. Fergie.
Tammy is the name of
Tammy.
the character.
Tammy is Stacey Ferguson.
Oh, okay.
So that means that Tammy must have been in Death Proof somewhere.
As Stacey Ferguson. Or Stacey Ferguson. Fergie is in Death Proof somewhere as Stacey Ferguson.
Possibly. I didn't see her in Death Proof though.
Yeah,
But
but then again.
you
Anyway,
never know.
getting back to the film. JT helps her out, gives her some water for the radiator, offers her some food, she's in a hurry, blah, blah, blah. One of those great lines of, you saving lives, and she's like, as a matter of fact, how'd you know? And gets in and drives off. Which
True.
is kind of how is it then that we're introduced to the doctor?
No,
No, okay.
not yet. She gets a text. The music cuts from the kind of normal bit of kind of little grindhousey background music to real romantic. And there's a text from her lady lover, who it then cuts to the hospital, where no, it doesn't. It cuts back to the house. They're at the house first, the husband and wife.
Yeah, it shows him waking up first, though, didn't it?
Yeah, goes back to the house and then they're eating breakfast.
Yeah, and she gets the text. Yeah,
She gets the text. So yes, she sends a text. Fergie sends a text. Then she gets the text
to her Dr. Mrs.
Dr. Mrs. with her three special friends.
Yeah, they're awesome. And
Yeah.
her husband, who will be soon trying to...
Such
Her husband, who will be soon
typical
trying to...
Rodriguez as well. It's just such beautiful dialogue in it. Just that, when she's injecting the first guy,
Oh,
and
yeah.
she's like, "This is my first friend."
Take the edge off.
Take the edge off, and then she's like, "You'll feel you won't feel anything this time because that means my first friend is working." Yeah, it's brilliant.
Which they reuse kind of... They use lines more in the rest of the film. It's
In a
kind of
much
like
more menacing way.
her husband, Am I right or am I wrong?
He was in Men in Black 3.
So he will soon be trying to take over the universe. Thanos!
Yes. Yes.
I knew I recognised that chin.
He's got some chin. Josh Brolin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Goonies!
Seen the Goonies?
Dude! He's fucking the older brother.
Dude.
Wow.
I don't know.
Actually, there is still rumours that they all will be coming back as adult versions for Goonies.
I have heard that. Do you know what actually I saw as well, just seeing as you're talking about old school 80s movies, was at, I think it's Monster Palooza over in America, but they have all the Lost Boys together.
Really?
Yeah, it's like, I saw it on Jessica Cameron's page, but do you know that epic saxophone song? I just have to mention it because this is it. Yeah, that's it. They have him there playing it live. It was, oh my god, the boy can still rock it. I just have to mention that because like that was that soundtrack. That soundtrack was a big part of my teenage life, big part of your teenage life.
Lesser so.
That's a big part of my teenage life. Anyway, loved it. But no, it was just cool. Anyway, back to
all of this because once again you see how Grindhouse works. All these people, all of these different things. But so yes, doctor and nurse. They are, or doctor and doctor. Sorry, I apologize. She is a doctor as well.
Yeah, but somehow works more of his assistant.
No, I think she's the anesthesiologist.
Anesthetist.
She's in charge of making people go bye-bye.
Okay.
And people going knocked out. Say it with me. Anesthesiologist.
Anesthesiologist.
There you go.
I can say big words.
I know, I was just mangled it. I felt like I was fucking... What's your man? Fucking Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood or whatever.
Mr. Rogers?
Yeah, that old American thing. Can you say anesthesiologist? Sure. I knew you could.
Live audience participation there.
Oh, yay! Do you want to take it?
There you go.
Not this. I mean, do you want to take it with the story?
Yeah, okay. So it cuts to them. They are waking up. Then they're down at breakfast. There's this very creepy line with the dad. You don't even need a lot of dialogue out of Brolin's character.
Yeah,
there's something off with him.
Well, no, he just has a certain... I think actually to be perfectly honest, what sums him up is when he turns to his son and says, say a prayer...
That Daddy doesn't see.
No, say a prayer, no dead bodies for Daddy.
Yeah.
And I think that just sums it up right there. He has seen so much crap that he's just grizzled and... Plus the fact that he reckons his missus is cheating on him doesn't help matters either.
Yeah, well, it's not that he reckons, like, he's full-blown bona fide aware of it.
He actually... he turns and he goes, who are you talking to? The babysitter. He turns to his kid and goes, I don't believe her. Do you believe her? No.
So, anyway... Then they head off to the hospital. The hospital's riddled with people coming in.
Yeah,
One guy that Brolin's character comes in with a medic. And
he's a friend of Brolin.
Yeah, he's a friend of the family kind of guy. Yeah. He comes in with one of the paramedics, and he's been bitten. And they ask him what he's been bitten by. He's like, "If I told you, you wouldn't believe me." Then that was in stereo. Very good. Then they're kind of examining him.
There is a graphic scene where one of Josh Brolin's hospital buddies is basically going through all these different diseases.
Yeah. The dick.
Oh, gods, man. It is...
Oh, the dick.
Oh, gods.
No, it's not good. It's not good.
Which is then outdone by when your man sticks his tongue out and it's just pustules everywhere. Which... And right in the eye.
Oh, bam. Zoom right in the kisser. So, because it's a very strange way of trying to calm down the guy that they're examining, because he's been picking up loads of... they're just basically rattling off all these diseases. Like, were you in contact with this? No, I wasn't in contact. Were you in contact with this? No, I wasn't in contact with... Like, I literally just got bitten by something. So he's got this horrible bite mark on his arm. And all these pustules are kind of starting to go up the arm. Then they open his mouth, and there's all these massive pimply pustules on his tongue. Then Brolin's character decides to squirt one.
He doesn't decide. He's just kind of, and it pops, and
it's just this like, it's just I can't even describe it. I can't even describe it. It's just horror. This like gloop.
An immediate get my wife.
Yeah, get the wife. So this is where the wife does the scene that we mentioned earlier with the three.
What's cool
special friends.
He's all matter of fact about it. He's kind of like, okay, here's the situation. You're telling me, when were you bitten? Today? No way. You're telling me this looks like a bite that's been here for 14 days. So there's only one thing we're going to do, and we're going to have to cut off the arm. What? Yeah, it's the only way to stop it from going in your heart. You'll be dead. What? And that's when she walks in and does her little three friends speech, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
because he is
gone. By number 3, he is unconscioso.
And, yeah, and kind of sets up exactly how effective these little three friends are, which are important for later on in the film.
They're very important for later on in the film.
Meanwhile, in JT's,
is back working on his epic barbecue recipe.
Best in Texas.
And
ain't no one going to come up here and dispute it.
One of the most badass characters you're ever going to see.
El Rey. Freddy Rodriguez, which is hilarious because, did you ever see Chaos? It's a short-lived TV show about the CIA. Part of the reasons that it didn't work is because none of the episodes were shown in the correct order.
But that'll screw a fucking TV show.
Oh, yeah. Freddy Rodriguez played this kind of novice CIA operative, very naive and gung-ho, and kind of appalled at some of the dirtier tactics that his buddies use.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He comes in and he has a bit of an interaction with
JT,
because they're obviously buddies.
Yep.
Then he turns around to find the lovely buxom Cherry sitting on a chair in a corner where he goes over, and very quickly you see by the eye contact from across the barbecue shack that there's
they know each other.
There's a bit of history there.
Yeah.
So he just walks over, because you'll find out very quickly as well that El Rey doesn't piss about. El Rey is like a knife, straight to the point.
You know what El Rey means, right?
Yeah, the king. Isn't it? Yeah, the king. So he starts talking to Cherry, and basically he's like, "Why'd you leave?" No, hey, how are you, or anything, just, why'd you leave? Then she's like, blah, blah, and then he calls her, what's her nickname? He calls her
Babalita?
Yeah, he calls her Babalita, and she's like, I don't go by that anymore, I go by Cherry. And he's like, that sounds like a stripper's name. Then she has a little
Go-Go dancer's name.
Yeah, Go-Go dancer's name. He sees the injury on the leg, isn't it? And he goes, no.
She'd already taken that care of that and bandaged it up. Yeah, she ripped the fucking steel out and kind of...
Yeah, just bandaged it up and stuff like that.
Or did she even bandage it up? But, yeah. No, it's not that. Basically,
they end up in a car.
No,
together.
it's because the way the conversation's going, it's clear that it's like she doesn't want anything to do with him. So he kind of like leaves her off and backs away. And she turns around and goes, I could use a lift.
True. Oh, yes, that's it. And then they're driving to town. Then they think they hit.
No,
something.
he's telling, they're driving to town. He's telling us the bit about, if a deer jumps in front of you, they say you should speed up because, if you're driving at 90 miles an hour or something, you swerve, you can kill yourself. And then all of a sudden he swerves and flips over, and,
then all of a sudden too.
Well, Cherry turns over and she goes, I thought you said you're supposed to speed up if you see a deer. That wasn't a deer. And then this postulated hand busts in and grabs
glowing
her.
eyes through the window.
Yeah.
And they just drag her off.
Yeah.
So El Rey grabs what is a very large gun out the back of his car, because El Rey is tooled up, son.
This gun just gets whipped out and you're like, where the fudge did that night scope and everything, dude? That is an assault rifle.
Keep his very strange assortment of weapons in your memory for later on, because that is a very crucial point. But so he goes off tracking down the zombies, finds the zombies. At this stage, they've already, because for some reason, limbs come off like a hot knife through butter in this movie. I don't know why the humans have developed something. I don't know what it is, but they'll take an arm off like that.
Well, I think it's because they're super strong as well, because at one point somebody gets punched tea over kettle through a cop car.
Back to the audience.
Yep.
Oh yes, that's true. Oh yeah, and they rip like limbs.
It's much, actually, funnily enough, like within From Dusk Till Dawn, Tom Savini, Sex Machine, makes a comment of, they're spongier, because you see the zombies themselves, they rip apart very easy as well.
Oh, if you shoot them in the head with a bullet, the entire body nearly explodes.
That's not exactly the scene I was thinking of, but we'll get to that later.
Yes. Okay, cool. You're talking closer to the end.
I'm talking a road trip.
Road trip? Are you talking about Bruce Willis popping like a zit?
No. Anyway, Ray manages to rescue Cherry and gets her to a hospital, wherein the sheriff is very perplexed to see Ray anywhere near someone who is that much covered in blood, and worse yet, holding a weapon of any form.
Yeah. Because Ray, there's some sort of peace embargo between the cops
Yeah.
and whatever. You don't have guns, and we will leave you alone.
Yeah,
because
pretty much.
evidently fucking people die if Ray's got guns on him.
Even if I have this thing for hunting, not even for hunting. Oh. So, yeah.
He's like, you're not supposed to be hunting.
But yeah, Ray seems to twig fairly quick that there's something up because he's noticing the amount of sick people and the kind of lesions and pustules, and the cops aren't buying his story about fucking someone ripping off the leg, and it's just like, we'll continue this conversation somewhere else. Yeah, maybe we should. Cuffed. Oh, for fuck's sake. So Ray ends up having to take a little trip to the cop shop. Yeah, where does it go from there? Trip to the cop shop. Tom Savini arrives on. But that's later.
Tom Savini just shows up as a cop, missing 2 fingers.
Missing a finger. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not using colourful language. He bit my fucking finger off.
That's pretty much it. They're just basically questioning El Rey as to why he's back in town.
Or no, they're questioning his story because they know why he's in town. He fucking lives around there.
Well, they have a... Yeah, well, you know what I mean, that they have... They basically think he's responsible for Cherry missing her leg.
Yeah, what the fuck actually happened?
Yeah, because you never find out why that they think there's some history there with El Rey as well, where it's just, there's, as I mentioned, there's a piece of Barco basically going, no guns with El Rey, everything will be cushy.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they're questioning him when the deputy, Tom Savini, the deputy, comes in, and he's on about how this this guy that he just arrested bit off his finger and fucking blah blah. Ooh, actually, while they're being questioned, Earl comes in. For those of you that have seen From Dusk Till Dawn and actually Kill Bill, now I think about it, the sheriff that's in the start of them, Earl, is in Planet Terror as well as Earl, hard-bitten old sheriff. So you know, he's tinkering around and introduces him to it. The sheriff receives a phone call from his brother, who is JT, the famous steak man. And
no, it's JT ring. Oh yeah, sorry, you're right, yeah.
Yep. At which point it's like, I ain't ringing, I'm not ringing my brother, I'm ringing the sheriff. There's 2 guys outside. Now, JT at first thinks that these 2 people are from a rival steakhouse or something like that. Goes out being all nice and peaceful, they're ignoring him, he says fuck that, goes back inside, warns them that if they come up giving him a hassle, he has a gun. So they, you know, he decides to call his brother the sheriff and let him know about this situation just in case. Sheriff says, yeah, okay, no bother, we'll get up and hang on, they're at the door here, I'll get back to you on that one. But yeah, the deputy comes in. He's got a guy in his car that's after biting his finger off. Freaky as fuck. Other deputy goes out to arrest him, to book him, because if Tom Savini goes back out, he'll fucking kill him. So his exact words.
Yeah.
You better book him, because if I go out, I'll fucking kill him.
This is true. So they go out to book him, and lo and behold, El Pussyface is nowhere to be seen.
No one in the car. Window
no in the
broken.
car whatsoever. They look in the window, no sign of him whatsoever. They can see a bit of blood on the window. Then the other cop finds Savini's wedding ring.
Yeah.
And as he goes to hand Savini his wedding ring,
Waffle! Humph!
nommy nom noms.
Chunt.
The sheriff, none too impressed.
Well, it is Hicks.
What do you mean?
The sheriff is the guy that plays the sheriff plays Hicks in Aliens, and he was Reese in Terminator. Hang on, because I can do this too. Michael Biehn. There we go. Thank you. So yeah, he's having none of this whole, you know, people being chomped on his watch. So
No, although it did happen.
yeah, he looks back. There's this cool scene. There's this cool moment where he looks up and Ray is standing in the doorway of the cop shop, and then stuff happens and he looks back and Ray's gone. Yeah.
The car's a soul check.
So yeah.
Car's a soul check.
So is it.
Soul check.
So is it.
Soul check.
I don't know.
So is it. So is it.
Let's drop it, please. Yeah, the sheriff's deputies arrive on, I think.
Yeah, and they shoot the crap out of the couple of zombies that are there. Then they all get eaten alive as well because more zombies.
No, they don't. The deputies don't get eaten alive there. But we do have inexplicable car explosions. Like they're standing.
Cars just explode near the sheriff's department.
They're firing, and all the cars are behind them, and a car explodes. And then later on, we have the hilarious line. They decide that they're going to go to JT's, because they're going to the hospital Ray's going to the hospital to get Sherry.
Yeah, because he won't go anywhere with the sheriff unless he lets him go to the hospital to get Sherry.
So they're all going to pile into
cars. Oh no, sorry, sorry, that's not it. He breaks away from the sheriff, as you said, where he just does these curls of soze.
Anyway,
then the sheriff's like, "No, you're riding with me in my car." Then the sheriff's car just explodes. Then he's like,
for no reason,
I'm going with you. And then he's like, "Okay, fine, but I'll go to the hospital first."
Yeah. But his deputies all pile onto the back of Ray's fucking pickup truck.
Yeah. It's like a little gun patrol.
Now, the thing is, while this is all going on, all hell has broken loose at the hospital because basically zombers.
People are dead are getting up, and people who are having their arms amputated are amputating people's heads off, and people are generally eating people. Before things really kick off, a lot of goo everywhere.
Before things really kick off, we have a nice little confrontation whereby Dr. Brolin, confronts his wife, Doctor, about her mistress, who he thought things had been broken up, but lo and behold,
she shows up in a slab.
This is her corpse, and I thought she was out of town.
Yeah.
So we have a bit of a injection play with them. So her hands are just, she's doing a T-Rex impression, dude.
Yeah. Well, it's basically he finds the phone on Fergie, and then he goes in and he's confronting his wife about, "Show me your phone," and then she's like, "No," and she's holding her hands up like this, keeping away. So he's already taken her needles off her, and he just goes, "Boom! This is your first friend," and then you just see the phone just like, and then she catches the phone in her other hand, and then he's like, "Boom! This is your second friend." And then he's like, "Ugh," and then he grabs the phone. Then he matches the two messages
after your
together.
Third friend, you'll never see me at day. Are you in here?
Yeah. The second friend, who he there's no gentle jabbing of the friends. He just stabs her with needles.
Yeah, in the hands. Yeah. So anyway, he basically shoves her into a closet or something. Does he?
No, he just locks her into the room that they're in and tells her to wait there for him to come back. She obviously doesn't do that. She uses her foot in her face to open the door.
Well, she kicks her way out of the fucking hospital room first.
Yeah.
But this is all while hell is broken loose. Which...
No, she tries to open the door with her foot in her face.
That's the car?
No, that's also the car, where we won't get into that yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she tries to open that and she just kind of bang.
Oh. Okay. All hell is breaking loose at the hospital.
Yeah, she's walking around, as you said, like a fucking T-Rex.
Little Miss Floppy Hands.
Ray, the sheriff, and the deputies arrive on at the hospital where all hell is broken loose, and they proceed to. Well, actually, it's cool. They're kind of looking, and they're being hesitant about shooting people, and then Todd Savini thinks a zombie's behind him and shoots and kills an old man.
Yeah. Then the sheriff's just like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Yeah. He's like, "He looks like a zombie. They all look like zombies. They're in hospital."
It's just be dumbass.
Yeah. They go in. Ray's asking, "Is there any chance he's allowed to hold a firearm at this stage?"
To which he is told, "No."
No. So he pulls these two little butterfly knives out of his pocket. To which it turns out that in a zombie apocalypse, Ray doesn't need handguns or anything like that. All he needs is two butterfly knives.
I love the knife work in so much as he deliberately avoided blood spill.
Yeah.
I think he twigged that they were infected, or it's revealed.
Well, you don't. Once it starts kicking off pretty badly, you don't really need to twig they're infected. It's pretty feckin' obvious.
Yeah. So he's somersaulting and slashing his way through the entire place in order to get to Cherry.
It's like in some of the Night of the Living Dead films and things like that, where you see the person walking at them and they're like, "What is that?" And you're like, "It's obviously a fucking zombie." Have you never seen a zombie movie before? It's obviously a fucking zombie. Hang
on. Or a very hungover person.
Okay, but still, just take a wide berth until they come into the light. Do you know what I mean? Instead of just standing there. What is it? Is that a hungover person? It could be a hungover person. Although they are chomping on an arm. It's probably a fucking zombie.
Fair point, unless it's a hungover zombie.
Yeah. People don't have this opportunity in Planet Terror because even though they're full of pustules, they're very fast. Ravenous. They're just
super
freaking
people. Strong too.
Yeah, NFL level tackling people and just ripping arms off.
As I said, a cop at one point gets battered through a cop car.
Yeah, clean. Just
not clean, but
Hulk. Yeah, Hulk Yeah,
actually,
just bowling balled them into it.
But So Ray finds Cherry, who has woken up to discover that her leg is gone because...
Well, she woke up and got upset about her leg being gone already, and now she's sitting in a bedroom with a sheet over her head, hoping people think she's just dead.
Yeah, pretty much.
Very effectively, actually, I might add.
Yeah. So, bit of witty banter, and Ray decides to...
With the most unrealistic thing you're ever going to see in cinema. What?
Snap a chair.
Snap a chair like, I can't walk, I only have one leg. Whip it black. Only have one leg. Oh, crap, what's the line? He just does some sort of kind of real motivational. So breaks off a table leg
Chair
and just
leg
rams it onto the metal peg. Yeah, just like in a way that no human could actually effectively possibly do that.
Not a hope in Gettysburg hell.
Even the audience member laughed at that when we watched it, where she was like, that couldn't happen. Like, I know, it's Grindhouse though. It's Grindhouse. You are looking at a movie where there's loads of pustule-filled zombies walking around the place, and Bruce Willis is a pustule-filled zombie general.
Colonel.
Whatever, it was a long sentence. So anyway, he's they're leaving the hospital at this stage. El Rey is absolutely massacring zombies as they're going. Cherry's very badly trying to learn how to
walk on a
stabilize. Because the one realistic thing I'll say about the peg leg is the fact that he just broke the leg off with no measuring to see what the length of the peg leg was on the other leg. So it's
disproportionate.
Yeah, she's kind of got like a very wide angle that she needs to stand at. That's as eloquently as I can put that without having to get more into it, so we'll leave that at that.
Yeah, they get out of the hospital, the sheriff and his crew have...
we should probably start rounding off this one.
The sheriff and his crew have gotten out as well. Everyone decides to head to JT's, whereupon, when they arrive on, the last thing that the sheriff heard from his brother was that these two strangers were at his door, and they were right at his door.
Yeah.
So, everybody's quiet, he comments, JT usually comes and greets him.
No, JT, they go in and JT's lying dead on the floor.
Before that.
Oh, yes, okay, fine.
An important and hilarious part.
Yes.
Tom Savini turns around and goes, "You sure about this?" And he's got a red box saying, "All or nothing box." Yep, do it. Tips open the box. In it is a bunch of fucking badges. Drops open the bag. There's a bunch of survivors that they've rounded up basically getting the JTs.
Oh, but you know what we did forget?
What?
Is nurse ladies tried to leave the hospital as well with a very horrible scene where she's trying to open her door with her foot in her hands, old floppy hands, and she decides to kind of wedge her hand in behind the door, and then she goes to
use her foot
very stupidly. Like, I mean, number one, take the high heels off. I'd say would be step one. Take the high heels off. Step one.
First, apparently.
Step one. Take the high heels off. It's the
her hands are dead.
Thing I leave. The fucking high heels, man. You just...
Yeah, they're strapped on.
Just fucking kick them off.
Okay, fair enough.
Kick them off. Anyway.
Alright, fine. Sure.
Anyway, so she gets her hand in, she tries to open the door, and she falls, breaks her wrist, which she can obviously feel for some reason. Then also manages to...
I think it's just the shock of looking.
Yeah.
Oh!
Then she also manages to open the door. Then she gets in very smartly and manages to kind of open her watch and hook her watch onto the fucking drive stick.
Yeah.
So, and then just very, very badly drive away.
Now,
then all the stuff at JT's happens. This is why I had to mention that, because then it cuts back to...
Well, okay, the point I was getting to was the whole all or nothing box.
Yeah,
dumps out the badges.
It cuts back to the house with her dad and the mother turns into a zombie, and she's getting attacked by a load of zombies outside the car. And the zombie husband shows up as well.
I thought that happens after they make it into...
No, because she ends up with JT's as well.
This is the weird thing about Grindhouse, unfortunately, because of the way it's chopped together, it ends up being kind of... Well, yes and no.
Yeah,
no.
She ends up with JT's as well.
Are you usually as drunk as I am watching these things?
No, I watch them pretty sober, actually.
Oh.
I'd go as far as to say I watch them totally sober.
Well, there. Anyway, can we get to the all or nothing joke?
Okay, go for it.
Wherein he dumps out the badges and dumps out the guns and says, "Right, everyone here is deputized. Grab a badge and a gun. Except you, Ray. No for you. Remember 2 things when we're going in here. Firstly, don't shoot a deputy.
No guns for Ray.
Secondly, don't shoot me. Okay? That is important for what happens later."
Yes.
Yeah. So they go in and they think they found JT dead, but no, he's not dead. Turns out he's just covered in his own barbecue sauce, and he finds the secret ingredient he was looking for.
Zombie juice.
No, his own blood.
Oh, it was his own blood? I thought it was zombie blood.
No, because that would be infectious and deadly.
JT's the type of man not to care.
This is also true.
if it's good for the flavour, it's good for the flavour.
This is also true.
Who also shows up in Machete is one of the bad guys, actually, JT.
Does he?
He's the bad guy.
He is.
Not De Niro. He's kind of like the guy that's trying to get De Niro killed.
Yeah.
That's also like 2000, nearly 10 years old, so.
About 8, I think. 7, 8. Yeah.
It was about a year or two after it,
So they're all at JT's. They get a plan together. They get geared up. They've got transport. They decide to chill. There's the reconciliation between Cherry and El Rey, wherein we find out that, El Rey actually did love her and they had a wedding ring and blah, blah, blah. Then there is quite literally a scene missing. I mean, the entire reel goes on fire.
Oh, for the sex scene? Yeah.
Oh, no, we get enough to, But then
you get a nice insinuation of what's about to happen. Then it looks like it's about to go proper Grindhouse, and then film reel missing, and then it comes back, and JT's is absolutely on fire.
Yeah.
There's zombies everywhere, and they need to get the fuck out of there very, very quickly.
The sheriff is got his neck kind of going, when I said the deputy shouldn't shoot me, I didn't think it would be you. To Tom Savini.
Yeah. Tom Savini's not, unlike his character in From Dusk Till Dawn, not handling the pressure of the situation very well. He's just wildly shooting stuff.
I think he's just got a bad aim.
Well, he's missing a finger now.
His left hand. Shooting with his right. Well, maybe. Anyway.
Well, you're supposed to shoot like this because those guns have a bit of kick. So maybe it's because he's shooting with one hand that he's just like. The realism in Grindhouse.
Yeah. They all get into.
They start rolling up the road where we come into our second scene where cars just randomly explode for no apparent reason.
Yes, and whereby the squishiness of pus-filled zombies comes to the forefront.
Yeah, because they just explode like man puddles.
I haven't seen blood being bucketed like that since Brain Dead and the scene with the lawnmower.
That is a fucking awesome analogy. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. That wouldn't have even clicked with me.
First thing that popped into my
Well
head.
done. I was going to say Men in Black when they shoot the thing with the little the lazy cricket.
Pales in comparison to bucket of blood.
Yeah, but they do go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean,
lazy cricket.
Yeah.
Straight out.
So yeah, this is all going swimmingly until they run into a major pack of the fucking zombies. Now at this point we have everyone together. We have Dr. Lady, who we have Earl.
She's just shown up in
with
the cutscene.
Yeah, with Earl, because Earl's her daddy.
Yeah.
And with the corpse of her son.
Yeah. Oh, we forgot about that. We'll leave that for people who haven't seen it.
Yeah, because it's hilarious.
So good. It's hilarious. It's so
really
stupid.
You're looking at it going, really?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know how you possibly thought this was going to go. Like, your kid's already proven to be pretty thick in most instances.
Yeah. But anyway,
we need to leave. There's zombies everywhere. Oh, let me just get every one of my fucking dangerous insectoid pets, please, there.
There's only the one scorpion.
Scorpion, tarantula,
turtle, octopus.
You have a fucking octopus. I forgot about the octopus. And the angry twins. The angry twins going to beat the shit out of the mother's car as well.
The crazy babysitters.
These angry twins that also play a part in Death Proof, which we'll be talking about after this.
So anyway, they get the group is together and they're stopped by the Colonel, Bruce Willis, and his men.
Has Cherry got her new leg attachment yet?
No, she's wooden.
She's still wooden. Okay,
yeah,
that's fine. Yeah,
because that's a
yeah. They get stopped by 2 military trucks, one filled with the Colonel and his men, and the other one filled with just the men of cases as well.
Yeah,
yeah.
And
Tarantino's in the mix there somewhere as well.
Yeah, and they bake them away, toys, and they bring them back to the military base.
Bake them away? What?
Bake them away, toys.
What the fuck? What are you talking about? Sorry.
Simpsons. Bake them away, toys. What you see, Chief? Do what the kid says.
Okie dokie. That's right.
Anyway.
Bake them away, boys.
Yes.
You said bake them away, toys.
Yes, because that's the Wiggum joke.
Does he not say take them away, boys?
He messes it up. That's the joke.
Oh, okay.
God.
I obviously missed that.
Oh, God. Okay, anyway.
Was it a horror episode of The Simpsons?
No!
There you go.
But it was a Sideshow Bob episode.
Ah, I probably did see it. Which one?
He tries to kill fucking Paddy. Or Selma, whichever.
Oh, and they go to live in a condo.
Yeah. Bart's explaining everything. Take him away, boys.
Oh, well done you. That's years old, that one.
Yeah, back when it was good.
Yeah.
That's why I remember it.
That's fine.
Anyway,
oh, Rake, my evil nemesis.
they're brought back to the compound wherein they are introduced to Abby, the professor drug dealing guy, who fills them in on the gist of this is a mad chemical and blah 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 blah. There might be a cure. We're probably it. So if we can get out of here, Yatsay.
Yeah, basically saying anything that'll save his life.
Yeah, pretty much. At which point Tarantino, the second in command, decides he's going to get his dick wet.
Yep.
And he goes in and...
Great bit of dialogue in an elevator because they separate the men and the women.
No, he just goes in and he grabs Cherry and the doctor lady.
Yeah. Dick wet.
Yeah. So they were brought down into the basement. Cherry and the doctor lady are left alone for a little while, and a bit of a conversation is had wherein, you know, turn useless talents to your advantage, and when you're feeling down, just reach up. All of these things poignant and shall be go back to later on. El Rey and Abby, yeah, they decide to make a break for it. They figure out
they just... El Rey's not one to stay locked in a cage.
Yeah.
And Abby wants to get the fuck out of there because he knows all these guys are mental.
Yeah. JT ends up getting shot in the process, so JT and the sheriff are sitting down and have a nice little brotherly moment.
Yeah, because they're both dying in a corner.
Yep, taking that recipe to their grave.
Oh yeah, he tells him.
Yeah, he finally tells him. Yeah.
That's good. We never find out.
We do.
Shit, I can't remember.
You bring it to a boil of 250 degrees, and it's canned tomato sauce, and you don't use tinfoil. And apparently the secret ingredient is blood.
Madness.
Yeah. Anyway, Abby and El Rey get out and go to confront the Colonel. Meanwhile, Cherry and the Doctor make their escape by...
Yeah. Tarantino gets a very bad doing.
Yeah, Tarantino is looking to give wood, and he ends up getting wood.
Yeah.
First in the eye, and then in the...
Yeah. He also goes monstery.
Yeah, because he's been without the gas for too long, and that's just a bad fucking time.
Yeah, people start to get all...
That was when the doctor lady's hands came back to life because she used her little doof.
Yeah.
Right in the eye.
Yes. Then it cuts to El Rey and Abby, who've run into Bruce Willis at this stage.
Yeah.
And Bruce Willis, who's also had a bit of time without the gas.
Yeah, Bruce Willis gives his backstory and how himself and his men got this stuff and how they were just the wrong people in the wrong place at the wrong time. He doesn't actually say it, but it's pretty much...
It's insinuated.
Yep. There's a confrontation there that doesn't end well for somebody, and everyone beats a hasty retreat outside wherein there is a pitched gunfight with the rest of Bruce Willis's men.
Leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay, good. We'll hit the trailer and then we'll come back and we'll talk about Death Proof quickly.
Sorry.
It's okay. It always happens when we do the live shows too. We get too in depth. It's okay.
Hopefully it's entertaining.
I presume so. Trying to terror the trailer.
Say a prayer for your old man. No dead bodies for Dad tonight. What happened to your arm?
I got bit.
Bit by what?
If I told you, you probably wouldn't believe me.
They're not living.
Hell is that?
They're not dead.
The hell are the bodies?
They're gone.
They're not stopping.
The hell is going on? Jerry.
This infection will spread all over the world. You want the story? I'll spin it for you quick. We got a face full of DC too.
Where the laws of science are broken.
Right now, the soldiers are turning. Don't taunt me, Tramp. Once that happens, they'll tear us apart whether they want to or not.
The side effect is terror.
I swore to my men that I'd do everything in my power to keep them alive. I never had a choice.
Now, the last hope for humanity
I'm gonna go get Jerry. Fine, but we're taking my car. I'm riding with you.
rests in the hands of a few.
I have no leg!
I made you something. Stand. Up on. No, the other way. No, the other way. them off. How much ammo we got?
Holy shit.
If anyone comes to the door, I want you to shoot them.
What if it's Dad?
I'm gonna eat your brain.
Especially if it's your dad.
Robert Rodriguez, Planet Terror, a Grindhouse feature.
Cool, and we're back. So, Death Proof. I just need to do this one thing very, very quickly. Do a quick startup of Death Proof there for 1 second.
Death Proof, the Grindhouse movie that I actually kind of didn't really like, even though it's got Bruce Willis in it as a mad stunt driver who's basically a serial killer with an automotive MO, is the only way to put it. It starts off with himself and Rose McGowan, and with blonde hair this time, in a bar, isn't it? Or does it start off differently? It's been a long time since I've seen it.
No, it starts off with 3 girls driving in a car talking to each other.
Oh. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
Yeah, it starts off with 3 girls in a car.
It starts off with Werewolf Women of the SS.
Yes, it starts off with the trailer for Werewolf Women of the SS.
That I remember.
I so want to see this film
Yes.
happen.
Yes.
Yet again, zombie, I'm not joking. Please, for the love of God, if somehow you watch this, he probably doesn't watch this, but somehow if you watch this, for the love of God, please make
Werewolf
Women of the SS. Please, it has to happen. It just looks so good. It looks so good. But anyway, starts off with that trailer. Then it starts off with 3 girls driving in a car, and they're driving in a car, just talking shit. They've basically picked up this New Yorker girl from the airport. So there's the one girl, Jungle Julie, who's a radio DJ. Big shit in Austin, Texas, I think is where it starts out. Then there's Eli Roth's in this? I didn't even know that. Oh my god, yeah. Jesus. There's Arlene, who's the girl that they picked up from New York. Then they're driving down. Then they run into Stuntman Mike's car, where it's just kind of following them around the place. And she just kind of happens to notice that no matter where they seem to be in Texas, this car seems to be pulling up somewhere. Then they're all in a bar drinking, they're having a couple of sodas and stuff. And the girl, Shanna, that's it. The girl Shanna, who's like their. That's the girl we were talking about.
Yeah, Shanna, who I saw in what I thought was a remake of the film we're reviewing later on, and who also appears in...
It wasn't actually, in fact, a remake.
She's in Club Dread as Penelope, the gymnast.
Oh. Amazing. That's fantastic. So they're all sitting in this kind of like ice cream parlor or soda bar or something like that, at which point they find out that Jungle Julie has done an announcement about Arlene on the radio, basically saying that if a guy comes over, recites this special poem to them and gives her a drink of her choice, she has to give him a lap dance. But there's a big argument there or whatever. So then it cuts to them out in a bar later on that's owned by Quentin Tarantino. They're all drinking away. They see Rose McGowan, and obviously there's a bit of issues between Jungle Julie and Rose McGowan because she's basically calling her a stupid blonde bitch. All this kind of thing. Rose McGowan is sitting beside Stuntman Mike, and there's a kind of a cool bit of dialogue exchange going on in there. Then Stuntman Mike goes over to Arlene and Butterfly. That's her name. Butterfly, not Arlene. Well, Arlene is the name, but Butterfly is the name that they have to say on the radio. Okay. So he comes over, recites the poem. Then, I actually love this. There's a great dialogue bit. I'm very, very quickly skipping over this because we were on Planet Terror for way too long.
Sorry.
So they're sitting out in the deck. It's pissing rain. He recites the poem to her, and then she's like, "I still don't want to give you the lap dance." Do you know what I mean? Blah 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 blah. And he's like, "That's fine, that's fine." He's like, "You know the way sometimes," and he does like a John Wayne kind of reaction. "You know the way you always hear people say, 'You're good in my book, Pilgrim.'" Well, he was like, "Unlike most people, I actually have a book," and he's like, "I'm going to put you down in my book, or Butterfly, except I'm going to have to file you under chicken shit. So she gets her back up and she was like, okay, stuntman Mike, it's time for your lap dance. Awesome lap dance happens. Like, no clothes come off or anything, but by God, does it get the engine revving, and that's very apt considering what this film is about. But that's all good. Stuntman Mike and her finish up their lap dance. Stuntman Mike's bringing Rose McGowan home. There's a bit of a joke going on about how she's going to ride him. She's like, I'm not going to ride him. He's as old as my dad. And then he's like, I can hear you. And then she walks a bit further towards the girls, and he's like, she's like, seriously, do you think I'm going to have sex? And he was like, I can still hear you. And then, so she walks back over. This is where you find out that his car is a stunt car. And because she's like, where's the seat? And he's like, oh, this is where they normally kind of put a camera and stuff when they're doing the stunts, and he just puts in this very loose seat that's going on. And then there's another awesome bad guy line where he's driving up the road. Jungle Julie and all the girls go left. He pulls up, red light, turns around to Rose McGowan and is like, so which direction you going, darling? And she's like, oh, I'm going to the right. And he's like, oh, that's a shame. And she's like, what do you mean? And he's like, because we're all going to the left. He was like, if you had been going to the left as well, it would have been absolutely fine. You wouldn't know what's going on for another while. But seeing as you need to go to the right, I'd say it's safe to say that it's time for you to get scared immediately. And then he just peels off after the girls. She's fucking freaking out. Blah, 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 blah. Loads of car dodging and stuff like that, freaking her out, rattling around in the box. She says, like, typical, oh, please, I won't tell the cops, blah, 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 and help her. And then he just does another awesome line. This is why I think it's actually a very underappreciated movie. I know that for some reason it wasn't as well received as Planet Terror, but it's like, if you actually pick it apart, like, the dialogue in it is just beautiful. Some of the stuff is just, like, typical Tarantino, like, just the line to line is just amazing. So, yeah, he's rattling around her in the box anyway. He's like, you know the funny thing about this car being unkillable? And she's like, what? And he's like, is you really need to be sitting in this seat to reap the benefits of it. He just slams the brakes on her face, smashes into like this crash bar that's in the front of it. She's stoned out. Cool scene then where Jungle Julie rings up her radio station, tells them to put on a tune. They put on the tunes, and it's a great tune. All the legs are out the window, feet popping, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden you just see these lights turn on out of nowhere. Stuntman Mike about 150 miles an hour. Crash! Bang! Three of them are all riddled. Cuts to the... this cuts back to our bit of Grindhouse history that we were saying earlier about having to reuse actors and things like that. So it cuts back to the hospital where you see the doctor and the doctor's wife as the doctors that are bringing the bodies in. The sheriff and the two sheriff and the deputy sheriff are all there, all from Planet Terror. Doing it, and the two twins are there. The two twins that are on the car in Planet Terror. The crazy babysitter. They're in the bar at the start in Death Proof. Whew! Anyway, so they're basically questioning Stuntman Mike because, like, you seem to get in a lot of these accidents where you only seem to pick up a couple of cuts and bruises, and somebody else's car is absolutely decimated. He's like, I don't know. It's just the luck of the draw. I suppose I'm a stuntman. I know how to kind of roll with it and stuff like that, you know. So they have no evidence to prove to the contrary, but he's totally guilty of vehicular homicide, as you know. So then it cuts back to a very similar scene again, where three girls sitting in a car driving down the road, and this is where you can meet Rosario Dawson's character, who is Abernathy. You meet Kim, who is played by Tracy Thomas. This is like the main section of the story. Then there's also Lee, who's the sexy cheerleader lady, whose name I can't remember. Lee's the character's name, I can't remember the actor's name off the top of my head. So they're all driving in the car, they're getting ready to pick up their mate, Kim the cat, who is a really famous stunt woman anyway. She played, like, I think it was Pink Ranger and things like that.
Zoe Bell? No.
Zoe Bell. Yeah, that's her. Kim the cat. She's Australian. No, she's not Australian. Shit. Whoa.
That's how she kicks the crap out of
Yeah, she's not Australian. Shit. Whoops. Sorry, she's not Australian. There is a very long, funny joke about that, which is true. She doesn't seem to take it too badly. They sound alike. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like... Oh, we're dead.
You're dead. I haven't made any stupid fuck-ups.
We're both on the t-shirts together, dude. Crap. It's okay. It's okay. So anyway...
Mary Elizabeth Winstead plays Lee?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, and she's a cheerleader for the whole thing. So they go into a garage where Abernathy has her feet out the window. He's got a thing about it, which is typical Tarantino because
I
Tarantino
remember,
has
yeah, foot fetish.
he loves his feet. Like there's Uma Thurman in Kill Bill.
Yeah.
She's got the foot scene. Also Uma Thurman in Pulp Fiction. She's always
Juliette Lewis in From Dusk Till Dawn.
yeah loves the feet.
Yeah.
So
Massaging feet from Pulp Fiction.
yeah. So Abernathy's got her foot out. She's listening to her headphones, bopping away. Stuntman Mike walks over and he's just kind of caressing the feet with his face and gives him a sniff. And then he sees that she's about to go, what the fuck? And he just throws his keys out in front of the camera and says, oh, they're my goddamn keys, blah, blah, blah. And then that all gets passed off, you know, as just kind of, oh, sorry, that guy bumped off my feet as he was walking by, scared the crap out of me. They find out that for some reason in this hick town in middle arsehole of Texas somewhere, they have a copy of the new Italian Vogue, which is a big deal because they're all going up to this house. I don't know, Italian Vogue, fashionistas, they like it. Well, your one's a makeup artist, actually, Abernathy. She does makeup.
That would actually kind of...
Yeah, and then the other one's a model, so it's all...
Yeah, that does really kind of make sense, actually.
Yeah, it does. But then you have Kim and you have Zoe Bell, who are two gearheads, as they say. Total machine heads, like.
Yeah, I know.
So they pick up Zoe anyway. Then there's the funny interaction that we just had there about the Australia-New Zealand thing. Then Zoe says when she's in the States, because it's her first time to the States, she's mad to get her hands on the Dodge from Vanishing Point. And they're like, where the hell are you going to get a place to drive that? And then she's like, well, it turned out when I was coming here, I started looking at the buy and sell ads, and there is a man selling the exact same vintage car or whatever. So they go up, manage to wheel and deal your man by basically going, three of us are going to take this for a test drive to see how it goes. And we're going to leave our cheerleader friend, who is a big fan of guys from Texas, and just basically dumps the cheerleader friend on them. They drive off. There's also a long dialogue before the final arrangements are made between Zoe and Kim, where Kim's trying to talk Zoe into doing a stunt called the ship's mast, which basically involves Zoe strapping two belts to either door of the car, closing the doors of the car, getting up to like 100 miles per hour, then climbing out one window of the car, and then basically lying on the bottom of the car, holding the two belts. So they do that. Kim, there's this very funny dialogue because the makeup girl, Abernathy, they're kind of like, maybe you might want to just stay here and we'll drive back and pick you up in a little bit. I don't know if you want to be in the car. She's like, God damn you, I want to do this, blah, 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 blah. And she's loving it. She's like, blah, 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 on the thing. Great tune playing, boom, boom, boom. And just exactly like the night before, Stuntman Mike all of a sudden, you see just bang, hits the car, wobbles the car. Kim loses her hand on one of the ropes and Mike's just chasing them. It's great actually. He's just sitting there and he's got this kind of like really badass duck, silver duck emblem on the front of his car. And that's the opening shot as they're like tearing up the road, and you can see Kim like spinning all over the thing on the bonnet, and Mike's just up on top of this hill just looking down with his binoculars. But like it starts off with just his crotch with this like evil, like just like Darkwing Duck nearly esque
Let's get
emblem on the start of the car. Then he gets into the car, drives up, and starts tailing them. There's a great car scene chase that goes on for ages, but it's brilliant. It's real vintage kind of Vanishing Point kind of thing, real nitty gritty car, no CGI, all live action stunts. So eventually he runs them off the road. Kim goes flying off the bonnet of the car, or not Kim, sorry, Zoe goes flying off the bonnet of the car. He drives off. He goes, "Whoa, ladies! I gotta say, that was goddamn fun. That was fun." Just at which point Kim pulls a gun out of her pocket, shoots him straight in the shoulder. Bang! Which is around the stage where you're going to lose absolutely all respect for Stuntman Mike, played by Kurt Russell, because he turns into a whingy little bitch. He turns into a whingy little bitch boy. Don't dish it out if you can't take it. Sorry. Whingy little bitch boy.
Unfortunately, that is kind of a characteristic trait of an awful lot of sadistic serial killers.
True.
The reason why they're sadistic is because they have absolutely fuck all
Well,
control.
screw them. This is slowing down my what's going to be a 10-minute synopsis.
Yeah.
So anyway, earlier you hear about Zoe when Abernathy her shit faced on the edge of a cliff and Zoe falls off and manages to land on her feet, which is why she has the nickname Zoe the cat, because she's gotten on live. And there's this brilliant shot where the two girls are starting to cry in the car because they think Zoe's dead, and you just see this hand jump up from behind the bush going, "I'm okay!" And she just lands down. They're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you're okay," and blah blah. They're all super happy, and then she's like, just like literally leans in the way, she's like, "So are we going to get this guy or what?" And then they're like, "Yeah, so you're one." Oh, I love it. Abernathy hops up in the front. Zoe goes looking over in this pile, finds a nice big metal pipe, and just sticks one leg in the door of the car and just basically rides out the door, like the car jousting the car up the road. So they find Stuntman Mike. Stuntman Mike gets a terrible doing of it because Stuntman Mike's already he's sitting parked like a little bitch, like slugging whiskey. Oh no, God no, oh no, pouring whiskey in it, and then he's all like more, oh no, slung the whiskey, like, oh, it's like appalling behavior. So anyway, they just side bang into him. Absolutely wreck his car. He manages to spin off and take off, at which point another absolutely fantastic vintage 70s Vanishing Point style chase scene kicks off through the live traffic as everything. He's there banging cars out of one lane into the other, trying to knock the girls out of the way. Eventually it gets, I'd love to get into this in so much detail, but we still have another movie to do after this and the sponsor ad. So it's going to have to be the quickest synopsis of Madhouse ever. I'd say, like, what are we at now? Oh, no, really, we could give it 20 minutes maybe. Which is round off in the 2. It was 2 last week. So, where was I anyway? Oh yeah, so anyway, loads of really cool nitty gritty moves out of Kim because she's an absolute pilot behind the wheel of this car. Like way better than the man could have ever expected. They're even screaming that in the window at him. He's like, I'm sorry, I was just goofing around. Oh, you were goofing around, were you? Bang, hit him in the arm with the pipe and everything. I was like, oh, brilliant. They turned into like a real pack predatory, just the shit they gave this poor guy. Because at this stage you're kind of like, oh, bless him, he was fucking crying there a minute ago. She just hopped up and went, I'm okay. He can't deal with this, like. So he manages to kind of half run them off the road. He thinks he's driven them through a fence, but they've actually in fact gone up this hill which leads back onto the road, at which point they just tail swipe him, wreck his car. At this point, by the way, you're pretty much assuming that they're going to have to buy the Vanishing Point S car because it is fucked.
Or, cheerleader stays there.
She's pretty famous. I don't see that happening, to be honest. Like, even in the storyline, she's a famous actress and model, so I feel like they're only on like 3 days leave from some film set that they're working on. Actually, come to think about it, because that's the dialogue going on between them. So like, who's fucking who on set? And then it's like, oh, Abernathy's writing the director. Ooh, is she? That kind of thing. So anyway, they wreck him. Then there's an awesome scene where the 3 of them just beat 3 shades of shit out of him. They just stand him in a circle of the 3 of them and they just punch him left and right as he's bouncing between all of them. Then eventually Zoe gives some unmerciful roundhouse kick, thus knocking him on the ground. Then it cuts to the credits. Then a bit of music plays. Then it cuts back to Abernathy, who does a massive axe kick and smashes his face in. And then it cuts back to the credits again. End. 10 minutes. Skaboosh. I thank you. To get a better view of what was going on in this, we're going to cut to the Death Proof trailer. No, we're going to cut to our sponsor from American Horrors, and we're going to come back, and I'm going to be like, why I think this is underappreciated a little bit, and then we'll cut to the trailer, and then we'll do Madhouse, starring Vincent Price, and a slight appearance from Boris Karloff. But firstly, Death Proof.
Is there anybody in this place you could vouch for to give me a ride home?
Fair lady, your chariot awaits.
Is it safe?
No, it's better than safe. It's death proof.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Put the flag right up. Join me home. Have some fun. When the sun strikes, we're gonna
this car was death proof? Well, that wasn't a lie. This car is 100% death proof. Only to get the benefit of it, honey, you really need to be sitting in my seat.
smoking a cigarette because it's very Grindhouse, because we all like smoking cigarettes in Grindhouse movies. That's my theory. That's what I stick with. And that's why it's noisy. To give the Grindhousey look. So, I do think, in relation to why I think Death Proof is underappreciated, is that it did suffer in the double feature because Planet Terror was just so fucking good. Like, Planet Terror was amazing, and I think Death Proof kind of got lost by the wayside a little bit.
Maybe if they played them in the opposite order.
Death Proof first.
Yeah.
I think in either order, it was. I don't know. I think it was just at the time as well was when the real zombie insurgence was starting to kick off, as we discussed in episode 14. So I think people just automatically were drawn to Planet Terror anyway, because it was what was really coming out. And a lot of, like, it was the Dawn of the Dead and everything was after getting the remakes done and stuff around that time. Well, relatively around that time. So I do think that's why it suffered a little bit. But I do think it's just very underappreciated. I can see how people who wouldn't be adapted to the ordinary Grindhouse kind of thing would not get how it jumps from three girls dying to a whole new story. Do you know what I mean? Because it just basically starts off with three girls getting murdered very quickly and then him stalking them down. So there isn't like a long background story. But like this, back in the Grindhouse days, if you were doing a chase movie, you did a goddamn chase movie. Do you know what I mean? The storyline was just there to fill you in a little bit between awesome cheap
chase.
Yeah, just rough, like a WWE script, an absolute rough storyline to just give you an excuse for two guys to be in a ring beating the fuck out of
Here's
each
this
other.
really cool poster. We want you to come and see this really cool poster. Now let's figure out what film goes with the really cool poster.
There's that, and there's sometimes as well as in the Grindhouse documentary you and I were watching, that they quite frequently used to just be like, okay, we'll get some girl with some tits out and stuff in the poster because that'll get people in, and we'll throw a little fucking monster in there. Do you know what I mean? And half the stuff mightn't even show up in the poster. It's all about getting bums in seats. So on that, we're going to cut to a word from our sponsor, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do the Madhouse. Or Madhouse. No.
It's a Madhouse.
It's a Madhouse. Not the remake, which it turned out wasn't a remake at all. It was just a similar film named Madhouse. And there's another one from 2007 as well. Just to let you know. So here's an advert from our homeboys over at American Horrors. Hearty Fisher's American Horrors. Horrors 24/7. All the time. Available on Roku. Fill them on. Click it.
Lads, I'm so fucking bored.
Weird. I don't remember turning the TV on.
Welcome to the new American Horrors channel on Roku. Streaming 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all night, all day, all horror. Hi, I'm Hearty Fisher. As owner and operator of the world's greatest uncut 24 hours a day, 7 days a week horror channel, American Horrors, it's my job to let you know that I'm choking to death on this smoke. Okay, we're still rolling, right?
Okay, and we're back, getting ready for the 1974 classic, as you saw me posting up last night, Madhouse, starring Vincent Price.
And Peter Cushing.
Boris Karloff's in there for a bit.
Yeah, and I can only remember the name of the character, the third guy. I can't remember the actor's name.
What was the name of the character?
Quayle.
I think that's actually his name.
The producer?
Yeah, I think that's actually his name.
The actor's name as well?
Yeah, I think all of them were kind of in it as themselves. Or no, they weren't playing themselves. No, it was weird.
Because of the type of film that it is, it plays on the notion of actors getting too involved with their parts, which is, to be perfectly honest, the critical point. The film starts off, it says some time ago, but if I'm any guess, I'd say it starts off in the 60s, roughly. The Vincent Price is, funnily enough, playing an actor who is very well known. Paul Toombs is very well known.
Dr. Death.
Yeah, Dr. Death. He's got a series of films out at this stage.
Real kind of I tie women to train tracks kind of looking character.
Well, yeah, he's got the hat and face makeup and the cloak and the leather gloves. That's an important thing, the leather gloves. That's
They're a sign of the descent into madness later on in the movie.
But he's hosting a viewing party.
Well, they are.
But he's hosting a viewing party for his latest film, which I guess must be around New Year's, because when the film ends, this naked chick cuts her way through the screen and yells, "Happy New Year," blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, with the highest, squeakiest voice you're ever going to hear in a woman.
Texan voice, yeah.
Now the introducing.
It's very kind of Betty Boop.
Yeah. But,
very Betty Boopish.
Paul thanks people for all their help. Acknowledges Peter Cushing's character Herbert, who he says who himself gave up a promising career as an actor to when he found out that he could become a fantastic writer. It seems the two of them actually wrote the Dr. Death films together.
He had written the script for himself initially. Then the studio wanted.
Well, we find that out later on.
Vincent, and he ended up taking the full script role.
Yeah.
And somehow never decided to act again. Just stayed writing.
He also takes his opportunity to unveil his new wife, who is set to be his latest on-screen star, the latest woman that he kills, blah, blah, blah. Now, this kind of ruffles the feathers of one of his former stars, who is standing there with a guy named Quayle, who I mentioned previously, who's a producer, who's a slimy bastard.
He's a right sleazebag.
And decides to walk up and completely ruin the happy couple's moment by basically informing Vincent Price of some previous film work that his new missus used to do.
Shall we say a little bit risque?
Yes.
Art film.
That's one way of putting it.
That's been my tone for anything.
Yep.
Art film.
So
not black and white art film. There we go. Narrow it down. There you go.
So Toombs gets huffy with his missus, basically politely, well, not exactly politely, but very eloquently fucks her out of it, I suppose is the best way of putting it.
As Vincent Price is one to do because he's a wordsmith.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
So she runs off upstairs, runs past Herbert, and doing so, Herbert kind of looks a bit, what the hell was that?
What's this?
Yeah. So she runs off upstairs. The party continues down below. Resupply. Party continues down below. Now, the next thing we see...
It's just tobacco, isn't it?
Yeah, sure, whatever. The next thing we see is her cry.
Just tobacco.
Party on, guys.
Party on, mates. So the next thing we see is her basically up in the new prospective missus up in the bedroom, crying her eyes out over all this.
/ redoing her makeup.
Why was her face brown?
Brown? Oh, makeup.
But it was a completely different, like, she was tanned, but her face was brown. It was
70s, baby. Tell it, Cindy.
It was disturbing, is what it was.
Cindy Cutter.
Yeah. She's redoing her makeup and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And does she notice somebody entering the room, or does it just happen?
She thinks it's Peter, i.e. Vincent Price, coming in to apologise. And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry for upsetting you." And then you see the gloves and the cloak, and it just grabs her. And the epic kind of what I love about this is like the real stereotypical Grindhouse, like zoom into the face.
Yeah.
Love it, so good. So
and the credits kick in there, and when they come back,
Madhouse,
we see Vincent Price
getting doped up to his gills.
Well, yeah, he's kind of passed out a little bit on the bed, and
with the biggest goddamn injection of whatever.
Well, I think he just kind of drank it because there's no reference to drugs in this at all when you think about it. It's
no, he's in a nut house when it cuts.
No, not yet.
Okay, sorry.
I know. I thought they should have done it the other way as well, but they didn't. The credits come back on, or the credits roll. It comes back to him on the bed, seeing the glove. Yeah. He goes out to apologise to his missus, sees her sitting there, goes over, puts his hand on her shoulders, and her head falls off. That's when it cuts to the sanitarium, wherein he's strapped down, getting dosed up, being asked by the doctor if he did it, to which he replies, "I don't know."
A very well done head fall for the year it was done as well, because it actually looked like her head fell off.
Yeah.
I don't know, was it well done prosthetics or well shot? But yeah.
I think it was a mannequin.
Yeah, so it cuts to the Madhouse logo, then it cuts back to Peter in the sanitarium getting the biggest injection of whatever he's getting. That's a big... she's filled to the brim.
Being asked if he did it, his response is that he doesn't know.
Yeah, I just don't know.
The film then jumps, and we are in London. And it says present day, which is clearly 74.
Because the BBC are looking to do a Dr. Death TV series, and...
Doesn't say the BBC.
You assume it's the BBC because they do the interviews with Michael Parkinson on it, and it's actually Michael Parkinson.
That is true, actually. Yeah.
Skiddly douche.
Yeah.
So
well, he's on. It's it cuts to London, and we see Quayle.
Well, Michael Parkinson shows much later on.
Yeah. But it shows Quayle, the snaky git, and he's basically on about how Toombs is on this boat, and once he's off the boat, he'll have him, and he's talking to Julia, pretty much the only actual nice person in the entire fucking film, to be perfectly honest, and she's cute too.
Yeah.
But she's the press secretary basically, and she's going to be Paul's press manager.
And he's just basically informing her, make sure
make sure
there's goddamn photographers at the deck.
Yeah.
When he gets off that boat.
Yeah.
Cuts back to
the boat.
Vincent Price is having a nice little siesta. It starts off in the pocket watch, a big zoom shot of the pocket watch,
which is
that
a gift he got from
Ellen. That's it.
Ellen.
Yeah.
Just before
because the pocket watch is open and you can see the little engraving to
all my love to Paul from Ellen.
Yeah. So slowly draws out, and Peter's lying in bed asleep. Then you see the door open, and this rambunctious young lady letting herself into Peter's room.
Was her name Peaches?
Oh God, I hope so.
I actually think her name was something Peaches. I can't remember.
So Peaches, anyway. She's trying to work her way to the top,
and Paul's having none of it. He's just like, "Look,
no,
go away. I'm not up for this. Go away.
Yeah. Get out!"
Which she actually turns pure snaky, pure fast. Well, how would it look if someone were to walk in and see us like this?
Yeah.
The scandals, the stories I could tell, just as a bottle of champagne fucking arrives on.
Yeah, which gets sent away very, very quickly afterwards.
She used the distraction, by the way, to snatch the pocket watch.
Yeah, which he needs.
Yeah, so he huffs her out, and it shows him leaving the boat, and he's chatting to your man that brought along the champagne, saying, "Listen, there's a reward with the captain."
He's also, after bringing his bags out to the... Or no, he's going to make sure his luggage gets out to the cab and all that kind of thing. And there's $100 left with the captain if that watch shows up.
He turns a corner, and paparazzi, or whatever they used to be called, fracking everywhere.
Assholes.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, Peaches is on his arm.
Yeah.
And it's like, Dr. Death, going, who's this? Mrs. Kiss of Death. And disentangle.
There are some fantastic one-liners in this. He nails this performance.
Julia sweeps into the rescue, huffs them all away, introduces herself. Vincent actually says, well, he thanks her and says that he can tell she's a nice girl. And she is. She's actually the only nice fucking person in the entire fracking
She was like, I wouldn't say that. And he was like, I've always been able to tell a nice girl. You are a nice girl.
So she basically gives him a rundown.
I'm not even going to attempt to do his voice because I can't.
Yeah, no,
I'll work on it for future episodes.
She gives him his itinerary and says that they'll be meeting up later on.
Yeah.
And he is going off now to visit Herbert, Peter Cushing, who is living in the area and who he has come over on the behest of because it's actually him that's gotten him involved. And one of the first things that Paul
want to do a Dr. Death TV show, and the only guy that can do Dr. Death is Vincent Price.
So that hooks him in. No, straight away, Paul.
Yeah. Vincent also goes to get into the car where Peaches has also made her way back into his fucking car.
I just wanted to lift.
She's persistent as Peaches. Persistent Peaches, if you will.
I'm still not 100% certain her name is Peaches.
She's Peaches now.
Noted. Anyway, Herbert...
Mrs. P. Peaches.
Herbert...
Persistent. Yeah. Persistent Peaches.
Herbert explains that he's kind of lied to Paul a little bit and that he's actually not that head up on money, but he thought it would be good to get him over, good for him. He needs to face this thing. He needs to
take it head on.
Yeah, basically, to get over all this crap that followed him because, as Quayle kind of recounted earlier on, his career took a nosedive, and it's all about the headlines. That's what we're getting clear. This is all about for Quayle. This is about getting a name and getting headlines and using and abusing that name. A key point in any exploitation movie, really.
It's partially why they got the name. You get one big actor in there and plaster it absolutely anywhere you can plaster it.
To aid this, Herbert...
Except this has several big actors in it at the time.
Yeah. So to aid this, Herbert is trying to get Paul back into the character of Dr. Death, familiarise him with him. So he sits him down and he has him watching a film. And there's a trance scene that happens in the film that Paul is watching that basically knocks Paul out.
Yeah.
Now, we then see Peaches, who has managed to track Paul down once again.
Yeah, she's
a bloodhound, that one.
Like, this is before Find My iPhone app, people. Like, she's...
Which is why
She's got the smell of money in her nostrils. Well, the smell of leading lady rolls in her nostrils.
Which was the first clue I had that this might have all been one elaborate... Yeah.
Riseroo.
Yeah. She found him a little bit too swiftly. But anyway,
yes,
she goes wandering in.
Will be unveiled later on.
Yeah, she goes wandering in. Right now, Paul wakes up, sees her. He's got a candle. All the lights, all the power's off. Sees her, blows out the candle. It next cuts to a pair of black gloves being slid on, and then we see Dr. Death from behind stalking her, and basically he ends up sticking her with a pitchfork, leaving her body in a boat and sending it adrift. I think it's next morning that Paul is... Yeah. Paul goes down to the office with Herbert the next day, and unfortunately is greeted with the realization that the guy that's running the show is the guy that basically caused that last bit of hassle between him and his unfortunate dead ex-missus. And he's none too happy with that little prospect. And he kind of says it to Herbert, and Julia, into the rescue, kind of smooths it over, and he agrees, look, you're right, professional, I'll do the fucking job, and, you know, forget about all this. So,
yeah.
Is he brought down to the set at that point?
Is he brought down to the which?
The set, or is that later on?
No, the set's later on. There's a kind of like a pre-party first.
Yeah.
Julia, or Mrs. P. Peaches meets an untimely death in a river.
Yeah, a pitchfork and laid into a boat.
Yeah.
That body is found.
Yeah, well, he just kills her in a boat and then just lets it sail upriver where...
a couple of kids find it.
Is there a couple of kids? I thought it was your one.
No, it's a couple of kids that find it, and then her foster parents are on the scene very swiftly.
With the watch.
With the watch.
Well,
no, they're not. Not at first.
They're on the scene and they're looking for money.
They're giving a story. They're on the scene, the crime scene. They're giving a story.
Oh,
to the detective.
Yeah.
But the thing is, once the sob story is done, it cuts back to them. They're both grinning ear to shit-eating ear. So, clearly set up.
Yeah, it's...
both grinning ear to shit-eating ear.
There we go. Yeah, they're a little too informed of exactly what happened, considering the daughter has hopped straight off the boat and just stalked your man pretty much post-haste afterwards. Then...
Pre-production party?
There's the pre-production party where...
He
runs into this lady that he doesn't like, and she basically informs him, it doesn't matter if you're Vincent Price, you don't run this movie, I am the leading lady in this movie.
I was right about it being I was right. It's not a pre-production party, because they do go down, they do start work, but the thing is that they've introduced this new notion, Quayle's introduced it basically, that the doctor has an assistant, and he even says it, the doctor never has an assistant. He goes, well look, Herbert smooths it over the thought to bring her in, bring up the sex appeal.
Yeah.
But the very first thing that happens is that she fucks the scene up. She can't do, and Paul goes on a rant about it.
Yeah. Oh yes, okay.
Then they go to the party, and she's kind of had a few drinks, and she's
had a fucking hell of a few drinks.
She fucks him out of it once again, and there's another witty one-liner out of him that just shuts her down and
buries
walks
her.
off.
He buries her.
Just this witty little one-liner, and just and he walks off. And then she goes off.
She goes off upstairs, powders her nose, and in a literal powders her nose, not in a taking drugs kind of powders her nose.
Finds a pinball machine, starts playing
pinball. Suddenly the door locks behind her.
Now the thing is, while she was going off, there was an homage to Paul being played, in which he's once again shown all these scenes of Dr. Death. Now
it's not all Dr. Death. It's Paul's greatest scenes through cinema.
Most of them are Dr. Death stuff, kill scenes, torture scenes.
Yeah, well, no, there's a few at the start that weren't.
The Pendulum show.
Yeah, okay, I'll accept that.
And once again, the whole point of this, I think, and why I believe, why you get the feeling that it's all a plan, is the whole point up until this is Paul is having trouble with the character. He doesn't want to revisit it. Every time he's watching these scenes, it's like he's getting...
He also has this crazy lady living in the house with him that's making things quite strange in his head as well.
Oh, he hasn't found her yet.
Spider Bitch? He has yet.
Has he?
Yeah, well, he's in London a couple of days at that stage. He has to have somewhere to live. That's where he was staying.
Well, yeah, he was staying with Herbert, and Faye is Herbert's wife that was living downstairs in the basement.
Spider Bitch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Faye was actually the one that was with Quayle at the very beginning. She had been with Paul at a previous film, and Paul shrugged her off or whatever.
Yes. Oh, okay, right.
She eventually ends up with Herbert, and eventually gets a bad doing, and eventually goes bucking nuts, and winds up in that basement. Getting back to that party, Paul leaves while the homage to him is playing, and we see the new one that's supposed to be there playing pinball. Then the power cuts out.
Yeah,
Now,
the door has locked behind her.
Yeah, exactly. Now we see, after Paul walking off, we see once again the gloves are being put on. The leather gloves are put on.
In a real...
Yeah, pretty much. So...
they make a big deal out of the gloves.
Before the power goes out, the power goes nuts, and there's like gym equipment and stuff inside there that starts going off, freaking out your one. Then we see a masked, skull-faced Dr. Death hits her, or attacks her. Then the power's gone. After the power comes back on after the film,
chokes her.
Yeah, Julia goes looking for Paul, goes upstairs,
finds the body,
which is hanging. Now the thing is, it's already been noted by the detective that was looking into the death of the girl that the murders bear a striking similarity to the way women have been killed in Dr. Death films, which leads to a fantastic...
More than striking.
Yeah.
Full-blown ripping people out of scenes.
Which leads to a fantastic scene whereby the detective is sitting down watching a Dr. Death movie in Scotland Yard with the noise on blaring. This detective inspector, or like this chief, comes in.
Yeah.
What are you doing watching these films? What the hell are you... Blah, blah. But sir, it's part of the case. And he explains it brilliantly, fantastically. Your man is A, satisfied, and B, turns around and goes, all right, fine, just turn down the volume. Your man leaves, and you can see the young fella kind of going, ha ha, sitting back and goes back into the films again.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, one of the guests at the pre-party is another detective. And he actually comes up when Julia finds the body and says, I'm police, I'll take care of this. And the young fella detective actually says, I'm glad you're on this, maybe we can finally get somewhere, because clearly no one was paying attention because he's a young fella.
Yeah.
And he fills him in on his theory about Paul, about his history of mental relapse, which he's shown to the chief.
About the possible murder of the lady in the first place.
Yeah, the similarities between both cases. He outlines it all, and this cowboy is on board. Now, it's not helped by the fact...
This kid is speaking sense, and I'm going to listen to it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know why I did that in an American accent, they're all English.
Following morning, and Paul's found out that your one's dead. He's put two and two together. He's not fucking sure. He's still not sure, because like years ago, he's not sure. You know, he doesn't...
He never says it, but you can tell he's starting to think that he wakes up while not waking up. And goes murdering people.
He's noted himself that when himself and Herbert were working on the character, they drew on their deeper inner self.
Yeah.
You know, the dark side of himself. So as a result,
he just released this dark beast.
Yeah, so, you know, he's leaving Herbert's place when the law arrives on, asked to talk to him. He actually says, yeah, not a bother, let's go. Rock on.
Yeah.
They bring along a black glove that was found, and he tries it on. Now, what's hilarious is... Yeah, they're doing it at the party, and Quayle is there being a smug git, and the inspector gives Quayle the glove. Yeah, I'll try it on. And it fits, and Quayle's like, that could fit anyone. And sure enough, Paul does the exact same thing at the station, tries it on, perfect fit. Turns around to the inspector and goes, now you. The inspector tries it on, perfect fit.
Yeah.
So after saying that he's not sure himself, he actually admits he's not sure.
Yeah, but he's not going to take it either.
But also proving the fact that they have no evidence, he leaves. He decides to leave.
Yeah.
So he received a call from Julia, I think, before he goes, asking him to be down. She thinks something's up.
Yeah, I think he's due on set at this stage.
Yeah, he's got that interview with what's his face from the BBC schedule.
Michael Parkinson.
Exactly, yeah.
This is about halfway through the film, isn't it?
More or less, yeah.
Yeah, okay. We'll cut away to the trailer for a minute, and then we'll come back and we'll finish off the movie.
Right.
Dickety-boo.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the next few moments, you will be witnessing scenes from a new motion picture starring Vincent Price, master of the macabre. To those among you who are easily frightened, we suggest you turn away now. To those of you who think they can take it, we say, welcome to the madhouse. Perhaps it was inevitable. For years, this man has played the role of Dr. Death. For years, he has pretended to be a hideous, murdering monster. No! Now, at last, he has actually become one. American International presents Vincent Price in Madhouse, where lunacy lives.
All I ever got was a stake through the heart.
Tonight, I would like you to meet my next victim.
Fear lurks. Evil walks. And death waits.
Death is the name of a doctor you've met.
Stop it! Madhouse, a cinematic shock treatment. Guaranteed to scare you out of your mind. No one ever leaves Madhouse.
There we go. So now you have a little bit more of a vibe. I gotta say, number one, I love that goddamn voiceover from those 70s movies. It's just it's trashy. So they need Parkinson shows up and something happens at the Parkinson show where it actually nearly proves that Peter isn't involved. Man shows up and tries to kill someone at the Parkinson show.
Julia.
But he's on stage. Oh yeah, Julia dies, but what's his face is on stage.
Julia dies. Paul finds her. It's the exact same way as Elaine.
Yeah.
He is walking through with the body. He runs into the other one.
Yes, that's it. Okay.
He does a legger.
Yeah.
He ends up at what's his name's interview. Parkinson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interview happens.
Yeah.
That's all fine. Then he's on set the next day. There's this scene where he's supposed to lie in a bed, clamp him.
Yeah. The director is showing him how it's supposed to
go. How it works, and he's showing him the buttons, and it's a very simple up-down procedure.
Yeah.
So director gets clamped in. He's like, okay, you can let it go now, and the clamps won't open. And then
the press is still coming down. It's not stopping.
The press is coming down, and you can see that Peter is smashing the buttons. Like it's not stopping. It's not stopping. Paul. Yeah, Paul's smashing the buttons, and it's not stopping. The director gets smushed anyway. At which stage the cops show up and they realise that
this was
for Paul.
Yeah, basically they conclude that this was set up to kill Paul. Therefore, he can't be the one offing people.
That's cool. I think we're kind of like over the 2 hours, so maybe it's available out there to download very easily. Like dirt cheap to download it on YouTube. I think it was like $2.
I don't think it's on YouTube anymore because YouTube went all gay. Are mad.
No, there's the one where you paid the £2 and you can rent it. The YouTube rental bit.
Right.
So that's where I got it. It was on YouTube. So I would definitely go give it a watch if you like a bit of classic horror. It's absolutely brilliant. If you want to see some serious performances from some of the top horror actors from the Rocky Horror days or the Rocky Horror days and all of those kind of things.
Peter Cushing, Vincent Price.
And Boris Karloff's in there briefly as well.
Yeah.
Who's like the original Dracula.
The original, a lot of monsters.
Yes, true, actually. True. So, thanks everybody for joining in again. And maybe drop a line on the Gorecast page or drop a line on the EGS page. Let us know maybe if you have a thing you want to see us do.
Yeah, if you have a film preference, if you have a genre
if you want to see us do a genre or
if you want to ask us what our opinions on something are, if you're foolish enough to want to know what our opinions on something are.
As you can see down here, as you can see down here, we recently got a Twitter page. So at the Gorecast, go check us out.
You can point to your own crotch about the Patreon.
I can't. I will for Patreon though, where So Patreon, where if you want to help us keep doing what we do, we pop over there and you do a little donation or whatever, and it'll help us get a better microphone or help us be able to bring in someone to handle the technical side of things.
Yeah, so he's not typing the whole time while we're talking.
And also pop over on YouTube, because if you missed anything or you missed the start of it, it's on YouTube about an hour after this usually. So you can check it out on YouTube. And what else is there? Teespring, where you can get some really cool Gorecast t-shirts, and there's some first through the Gorecast mugs and t-shirts and hoodies and girls' vests and all that kind of shit. And on that note, I think that's pretty much us done now, isn't it?
Gorecast out?
Gorecast out.